Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video of Green Square Talks Battlebots. Co-hosting today is Civilian Arc. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel as he posts lots of amazing content as well. How you doing today, Civilian?
Yeti's not competing in Battlebots anymore. What has my life come to? What?
I
There's
don't
no more
know.
Yeti.
I don't know about any more, but yeah, because Greg Gibson didn't say in that post that he had plans for Yeti in the future, but there's always a chance he could make some.
True.
But yeah, still that was a kind of depressing post to see, but understandable knowing what's going on right
Yeah,
now.
that's true.
All right, so in this video, we will be discussing this episode of BattleBots. So if you don't want spoilers, this is probably not the time to watch this video if you haven't seen the episode and don't watch spoilers, because this video is going to be full of them from both not just this episode, but pretty much the entire season so far, not counting
Yeah,
bounties and stuff.
right.
All right, so let's now begin and go to the first battle where we have Shatter and Captain Shredderator. So Captain Shredderator currently sitting at 1-1 with a win against Axe Backwards in their last fight, and then a loss to Lockjaw in their opening in their opening episode battle. Their opponent is Shatter, who managed to get a win over Ghost Raptor, and then a controversial judge's decision loss to Malice. So they're also sitting at 1-1. Both of these bots are kind of in must-win situations here, as the winner will likely have a spot in the top 32, and the loser could be
Yeah.
a top 32 contender, might be out. It's undetermined right now. So, thoughts on this one, Civilian?
It's always the bots that compete every single season that decide to screw me over. Last week it was Lockjaw. Now it's Captain Shredderator. I swear this is getting on my nerves. But honestly, I'm kind of liking that Shatter is ditching like the pieces that they put so it doesn't look like they're actually taking damage, because the judges would clearly regard that as like some type of damage, maybe cosmetic, maybe just regular damage, who knows. But I'm glad they're getting rid of that. And holy, my Shatter took a beating and was just kept on going. That was an excellent defense guard from Shatter.
Definitely, I agree with all of that. As Adam Wrigley, I think he sounded like that removable armor we saw in their first two battles might have been the reason why the judges chose Malice over Shatter in their last battle. So he decided not to come in with that for this fight, because Captain Shredderator has been proving to be extremely durable this season, and both bots were or prepared this file was going to go to 3 minutes, and obviously it did. Yeah, at the beginning of this fight, like what Civilian said, we saw Shatter just coming right out of the gate, taking hit after hit from that full body spinner, and then when weapon reliability problems came back for Captain Shredderator, I'm guessing their motors were burning up or something. Either that or Shatter landed one shot before they started smoking. There is the potential that Shatter might have gotten to the interior with that, because I don't think Captain Shredderator is very well armored on top, so that's another possibility. But after that happened, Shatter just went nuts with that hammer until the clock hit zero. And Civilian agrees with me because he's nodding, it looks like.
Yep. That was amazing. Just seeing Captain Shredderator's top just getting pierced in and then just punctured and breaking altogether. That was crazy.
Yeah. It might not have looked like Shatter was doing much damage with that hammer, but if you looked closely, Shatter was putting tiny little holes, and well, some of them were bigger, but yeah, Shatter was getting through that piece of top armor on Captain Shredderator and stuff. Clearly was doing some damage and such.
Hmm.
So next question. And did you agree with the judge's decision on this battle?
I mean, the first fight was kind of Captain Shredderator's fight, but then the second half of the fight was more of Shatter's fight. And I think Shatter just did more than Captain Shredderator did.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I will put it at a really close decision and stuff. I'm not gonna directly score it, or score this one like I'm probably gonna score the other one and stuff. But I do agree with the judge's decision. I do believe Shatter won that battle, but we did see an impressive showing out of Captain Shredderator, or in this one, despite their spinner, they're falling about halfway through the battle. Also,
Right.
this was definitely a fun fight to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So now Shatter sitting at 2-1, Captain Shredderator sitting at 1-2. What are your thoughts on the top 32 for either of these bots?
Shatter first because it's easier. Honestly, I think Shatter should be a top 10 seed in my opinion.
Lost you. Here while he returns, I'll share my opinions. Yeah, I believe Shatter is in right now as civilian, and did say that he believes that they'll be a top 10 machine and stuff, which I'm not
Yeah.
sure about top 10, but I feel like they'll be in the early teens area, like maybe like 12 through 15, somewhere in that range, as Shatter has proven they are extremely durable this season, as they're able to take a few punches from Ghost Raptor and then take a bunch of hits from Captain Shredderator here,
Oh yeah.
and they just would not stop working. And yeah, you're back, civilian.
Yeah, thank God.
And as for Captain Shredderator, or I'm going to be showing off my 1 and 2 between all the bots that are currently 1 and 2 right now. I'm going to show rankings of all of them. I believe, if I remember where I put them somewhere in the middle of the one and
You put them
two
at like top
contenders
top
right
8, I
now,
think.
and so I think their chances are. I think they're higher than most 1 and 2 bots here, but
I mean,
it's going to be hard for. It's going to still be difficult and stuff.
I'd say Captain Shredderator might get like a really low seed, like low 5, because I mean, in fairness, it did do a lot to Lockjaw,
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah, so
and
that's the reason why when I show off the power rankings, Captain Shredder is ranked a little bit higher than quite a few machines, as they did have an impressive performance against Lockjaw, just even though they
right.
lost it because of a simple pin and such, and then had a really impressive victory over Axe Backwards. And then this one was pretty good, but as well, despite them not coming out on top.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, you want to finish what you were saying?
Uh, where did I cut off? Did you remember?
Pretty much. You said that you mentioned that Shatter would be somewhere in the top 10, and then we're
Okay, so
briefly explaining your reasoning before cutting out.
yeah, Shatter, in my opinion, is the best hammer bot that has entered this season. I think that, in my opinion, Shatter should be 3-0, not 2-1. I think I disagree with the Malice decision. I made a video about that. If you guys want to head over to my YouTube channel and see that, it's there. But I still think Shatter did an amazing job this season overall, and I'm really excited to see how it goes in the postseason. As for Captain Shredderator, I think it'll be a low 5 seed because it did do well, but I mean, its only win is to Axe Backwards, whose last win was like back in 2018. So yeah,
Yeah, I completely agree with a lot of that stuff. And yeah, check out Civilian Arc's video over Malice and Shatter. Is he makes a Civilian makes a lot of great arguments in that one, and a lot of great opinions and stuff. So yeah, this was an excellent battle to lead it off, and let's get to the next one. And while it might say that the next battle is, I believe it was Hijinks and Chomp for the second battle ended up being Gigabyte and Claw Viper. Before we start discussing that thing, gotta check out this awesome fidget spinner. Or, as Gigabyte sent me a bunch of merch that arrived today, bunch of awesome stickers and stuff. This fidget spinner is amazing. Got it. I have to show it off. Now,
I never
this thing is
knew.
fantastic.
I never knew a thing like that could exist.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure between the two fidget spinners I have, the one that I have in this one is clearly the best, like 10 to 20 times better and stuff. And I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to get a Waiachi fidget spinner as well, because that thing also looks sweet. So
I didn't even know there was a Waiachi fidget spinner.
yeah, they have one on their store. It's a little pricey. It's a little pricey and stuff, but yeah, shout out to Gigabyte for sending me this awesome fidget spinner. Yeah, Waiachi has an awesome fidget spinner as well, and such, and so on. So back to the fun part, which is discussing this battle where they took on Claw Viper this season, or in this fight. So Claw Viper currently sitting at 1-1 with a win over Hijinks and then a loss to Black Dragon. Their opponent is Gigabyte, who I just kind of gave a shout out to, got a victory over Extinguisher in their last fight, but their first battle did not go their way as they lost to Copperhead is all I'm going to say about that one. So,
They got de-shelled.
yep, basically kind of a repeat of Tombstone and Gigabyte from 2018.
Except wasn't Gigabyte's top like actually attached to it? Because didn't Gigabyte have like some attachment to their shell problems in their Tombstone fight?
Basically in that battle with Tombstone, like pretty much the first hit took off their top piece, which is holding their spinner in place. And then right before Gigabyte got to a wheel on Tombstone, Tombstone gave it a little love tap and took it off completely. And it was kind of funny watching that bot
That was, that
roll
was one
around
of
the
my
arena,
favorite.
run away from Tombstone, and luckily Tombstone hung back, told him to stop moving and such.
Real
Ray was such a
sportsmanship
good
from
sport
Ray.
in that fight.
Yeah.
All right, so thoughts on this battle, civilian?
Why did Claw Viper have to lose? I like Claw Viper. It's the only thing I have left from Warhawk. Why would they do this to me? Um, but yeah, I mean, this was a classic Gigabyte fight. Gigabyte doing some heavy damage here, and like I just love Gigabyte's overall damage that it did. Like this, I expected Claw Viper to like kind of miss the box rush, and it did. So like I'm a bit disappointed by this fight. This is, in my opinion, my least favorite fight of the episode. Because, I mean, I don't honestly remember that much about it, if I'm being honest. All I remember is
You
that
gotta be
Gigabyte.
honest though. The first hit after Claw Viper whiffed that box rush, coming right at Mega,
I
coming right
remember
at
the first
Gigabyte with
hit.
that wedge, sent him flying up in the air like a helicopter,
I
and
remember
so
the
on.
first hit. That was great. That was amazing.
Yes. Yeah, and then we saw a few more big hits between that full body spinner and Claw Viper's front, as Claw Viper just could not stop that full body spinner from spinning and such. And yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like Claw Viper was having some drive issues starting after that second hit. They were still moving and such, like we saw a few more big hits, but yeah, eventually they ended up showing their backside, and Gigabyte got to the backside, which is pretty much what that image is. And Gigabyte got a wheel, and I think it was all over for Claw Viper from there.
Yeah, like the pulverizer kind of helped take out the wheel. I remember that part.
Yeah, I believe I
Like,
remember
and
that
like
as
how
well.
the axle of the wheel was kind of like sliding off. Like, not just
Yes.
the wheel, the entire thing holding the wheel.
Yep, that is what happens when Gigabyte gets to the backside. Is their spinner does have that much power to it.
Yeah.
All right, so first question here. We saw Matt Spurk back, driver and builder of Stinger, and if you don't go that, also Sewer Snake. If you go back even further and stuff, how do you, what do you think about that? Getting to see Matt Spurk back finally.
I don't think his name is Matt Spurk. It's Matt Maxim.
Oh crap! Yes,
Matt Spurk is Kraken.
crap. Yeah, my
But
apologies. He's
but
Matt
secondly,
Matt Maxton and Matt Spurk.
yes, he's back. The BattleBots gods have graced me with his presence once more. The
Yeah.
captain of Stinger is
Once
here.
again, apologies to both of you, Matt Spurk and Matt Maxham and stuff, for getting that mix up and
Matt
stuff.
Matt Maxim, if you're watching this, I love your bot Stinger. It's my favorite bot ever.
Yeah, I really hope he returns to the arena and stuff. Now, it was so much fun watching Stinger or battle and stuff. What I just really hope if he does return is one of two things. Either he builds a bot that really like supports the rules that Battlebots has in place since they favor spinners over non-spinners by a lot in the competition,
True.
and or BattleBots lightens up on those rules, makes it less anti non-spinners and stuff. But
It depends on the rule for active weapons, because
yeah,
you could say that Stinger's wedge that it usually uses isn't an active weapon, but you could say that the lifter it used against like Mega Tento and Bronco are an active weapon.
yeah, exactly, and such. Yeah, I really want to see Matt Maxim back in the arena again, and or at least working alongside Gigabyte and stuff as he controlled the weapon for this battle, and he did a fantastic job
Yep,
doing it and
he
such.
did.
So, all right, so now that Claw Viper's at 1-2 and Gigabyte's at 2-1 right now, what do you think about them for their top 32?
Mm, Claw Viper, I think, should be 32 seed in my opinion. Its win was pretty dominant, but its two losses it didn't have much of a fight in. But I'd still give it a 32 seed just because of how fast that robot is and just how great the driver is of Claw Viper. Giga, Gigabyte, I'd put as like the in between like 11 and 15, as its wins weren't exactly the most impressive, I'd say. Like Copperhead, first of all, Gigabyte started off terrible, like just getting denied by Copperhead. And then it's a fight against Extinguisher, like that was a big hit, but other than that, there wasn't that much to say. And kind of the same thing about Claw Viper fights. So I don't think they're like as impressive as like the other 2-1 bots currently, such as like Malice or Scorpios, I'd say. But I'd still rank Gigabyte pretty high.
Yeah, agreed. So as for Gigabyte, I'd probably put them in the teens area and such. As that spinner has shown a ton of destructive power to it. I was very impressed with this win. And Extinguisher, overall, it was quite dominant. So it was probably not as impressive as like this battle, but it was still a pretty good win and such. It was too bad that they got dismantled by Copperhead for their first battle and such. But
Yeah.
Gigabyte is proven they fixed the issues they had in that first battle. Well, at least all the ones that I can think of and such that cost them that battle and managed to bounce back here.
Oh yeah.
I think they are a serious top 32 contender and they could go a few rounds further and such.
Definitely.
Then as for Claw Viper, I kind of have him in a similar place as Captain Shredderator, as I I could see them getting a top 32 spot, but kind of like what Civilian said, I think they're probably going to have a lower seed and so on. As that win against Hijinks, it was decent, but then it didn't really have too much. It didn't really seem like it had much to offer against either Black Dragon or Gigabyte. Is what ended up happening was it took some big hits from both spinner bots, but then they started having drive issues not long after that for both battles and so on.
I mean, in fairness, it's two bots that would fight. I kind of hate it. I mean, it's technically a rookie bot. It had to fight a Desperado champion and bot that's entire robotic family is known for being murderous rampagers. So yeah, I
Yep.
mean,
Oh man. Well, technically that's both of them, as they're both known for that technically.
true, true,
Yeah, as you know what Black Dragon did to Bloodsport and Warhawk as well,
true.
and so on. I don't really want to say Captain Shredderator because they showed before Black Dragon showed before their fight with Kraken that technically that big hit they didn't ever make contact between their weapon and Captain Shrederator's weapon.
That's what I thought. I thought the wedge just hit it,
Yeah,
and that sent both bots flying.
but yeah, excellent battle here. Excellent win by Gigabyte. Thanks for the fidget spinner. Big shout out to you guys here.
Come back, Matt.
Yes, please come back to also come back Claw Viper as well for next
Yes,
season, whether you get into
please
the
come back.
top 32 or not, as this is an amazing design and an amazing speed machine.
Yeah, like if it fought other like unproven bots, I think Claw Vapor would do decently well. Like if they pit him in a fight against Malice, that would be a pretty decent fight to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next battle. The battle that that looked appeared on the fight card to be the second fight of the night, but sadly ended up being the third. But still, at least we got to see this fight. It's Hijinks and Chomp. It's not fair that I give Gigabyte a shout out for sending me swag. I give Hijinks a shout out as well for sending me some awesome stickers and stuff of this. Yeah, I believe this was not long after I moved back into college a few weeks ago and so on. And also, Jen, if you're watching this, the stickers you sent to my home address, my parents texted me around when the semester started about 2 weeks ago, telling me those stickers arrived and stuff. And the next time that my parents and I see each other, or which will be soon, those will be in my hands and stuff. And all right, so back to this and stuff. So Hijinks, who came into this battle with a loss to Claw Viper and then an untelevised victory against Tracer. Their opponent is Jen's hero, Zoe Stevenson, and the 500-pound Chomp. And also, I did find it incredibly funny when Jen said that Chomp was like a robot on steroids. I don't remember the exact word choice and stuff, but
She said something like that. Yeah.
yes, I think I got it pretty well. And so their opponent was Chomp, as kind of stated. Jen's hero is Zoe Stevenson and so on. Came in with a 500-pound walker, currently sitting at 1-1 coming into this battle with a win over Gamma 9 and then a loss and then an untelevised loss to Ghost Raptor. And so on. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get to see that fight. I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
And
I'm honestly surprised Ghost Raptor won that, but like I,
yeah, it's too
I
bad.
I'm happy Ghost Raptor got a win at least. I mean, it's been a
Yeah,
while since Chuck Pitzer got himself a win. I think that'll boost his confidence if he ever comes back, whenever BattleBots comes back.
definitely. And so, yeah, at the beginning of this fight, we saw Chomp looking like it was marking its territory practically as we saw Hijinks coming closer with that spinner up to full speed. Chomp would spew out some flames, Hijinks would back off. And they did have a
Um,
reason for that as well, as they didn't want the flames to get to their electronics and stuff, as they felt like the flames could affect that stuff, which is a good reason to back off and such,
yeah,
if that's going to potentially be a problem. But it was quite funny to watch that happen, and so
yeah.
yeah. Thoughts on this, well, civilian?
Um, I I kind of find it funny how they were just running from Chomp. I love how everybody's scared of Chomp. The Chomp's currently 1-3. Like,
Well, one
so
and two, if not counting bounties, but 1 and 3
yeah,
counting the bounties.
yeah, I was counting bounties as
Yep.
well. But yeah, good showing from Hijinks. I did not think they would beat Chomp. Well, I did predict them to beat Chomp, but I didn't I didn't think I'd be right, as it was my least confident pick for predictions this week. But good showing from Jen and good showing from Orion the driver, like just great showing overall. Like you guys did a great job with this bot.
Yeah, for sure. Now, as I predicted hijinks for this fight, is I saw one of two outcomes happening, and one of those outcomes did happen. Well, the first outcome that I saw happening was hijinks would get in there with that spinner, get a hit, but then they would take a hit from Chomp's hammer that would disable their spinner, kind of like what they were able to do with Bite Force, and was something
Right.
that Jen was a little worried about coming into this battle, I believe. And then the other outcome I saw is hijinks getting to the sides, getting that spinner underneath their armor and getting to those legs and stuff. And that happened in this battle. And like what Civilian said, Orion Beach did an amazing job driving and stuff. And the extra top armor that Hijinks added for this one was quite effective, although Hijinks did mention in a post on a report on this battle that hammer shot that Chomp got on Hijinks, that was I think they only landed one in that battle, but
Yeah,
I'm
just
not
one, I
100% sure.
think. And then they
Yeah.
were able to like get under Chomp after that.
Yep. That one hammer shot was actually this close to taking out their weapon, as it was right near an important place that would have disabled their weapon, and then so on. And so it was a it so that was a closer hammer shot than you might think. It might not have looked like it did much damage, but it was that close to doing a lot of damage, and
Mhm.
so on. So yeah, very impressive showing out of hijinks here. Impressive victory as they took out the 500-pound machine in this one, and then so on. So
Yeah.
yeah, so what do you think these two standings are for the top 32? Since hijinks is at 2-1 now, and Chomp is at 1-2.
Hijinks, I think, is going to be in the 20s. I don't know where exactly, low 20s, high 20s. I don't know. I think if I were to be a part of the selection committee, I'd give them like a 23 seed as their. I haven't seen their win against Tracer, but if it's untelevised, it probably wasn't spectacular. They did pretty good against Chomp, though. You can't deny that. And they did a decent job damaging Claw Viper. So I'd give them like a mid 20s, I guess. Now, for Chomp, I think they're going to get the bombshell seed. And what I mean by that is that they're going to look at ingenuity and the complexity of design over the actual performance. I don't agree with Bombshell getting a 2016 wild card, but I'm guessing they gave them a wild card because of like the how much variety the weapon has and how it's like a Swiss Army bot. They're going to give Chomp a seed mainly because of how creative the bot is, not because of performance, because of creativity.
Yeah, it's very well engineered as well, just to add to it and such. Like, yeah, this is such an awesome bot to watch.
It is. It is.
I could definitely see Battlebots throwing Chomp into the top 32 and such. Like, yeah, I don't have Chomp exactly in the best place to make the top 32 right now, but you never know what could happen and such. Like, I think Chomp does have like, yeah, like I think their chances are probably lower than a lot of other machines that are currently 1 and 2 right now, but
I'd I'd
they
say
could always sneak in there, and the selection committee could very well choose them and put them into the top 32.
I'd say between Captain Shredderator and Chomp, I'd say Captain Shredderator has a better chance of getting in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that and so on. And yeah, as for hijinks, I think they're in. I think this win would punch their ticket right in there. As for where I would place them if I was the selection committee, I would probably place them somewhere between 18 and 22, somewhere in
Hmm,
that range,
interesting.
and such as, yeah, they had a really impressive showing here from Chomp, um, against Chomp and such. But yeah, I think the loss against Claw Viper and the win against Tracer, I don't know exactly what to say, whether it was like a good win or not. Knowing it was untelevised, we haven't seen it yet. But yes, I'm not sure what to say about that one and such, whether it was impressive or not. But the fact that it was untelevised kind of leans towards not as impressive. But I
Right.
don't. But I could very easily be wrong, as they have shown impressive untelevised battles in the past, at least some of them
Yeah,
and such.
I could name like 5 untelevised fights that are like in my top 20 favorite BattleBots reboot fights.
Yeah,
Or like top 30, not top 20.
yeah. Yeah, I would probably agree with top 30 and such. Yeah, this was a great third battle for hijinks and a great showing that this bot is a real deal and such.
Yeah.
So before we get to the next fight, thanks for the stickers again, hijinks. Thanks if you're watching this, Jen. All right, next up, Witch Doctor and Slammo. Is Witch Doctor coming off of 2 losses right now, being the runner-up from last season to Hydra and Kraken, and their opponent is Slammo here, who is currently 2-0 right now, and so
The
on with the
Danby bot.
yeah. Has the Danby curse seriously lifted right now?
It might as well.
Yeah, they got two wins, as they got a pretty impressive win over Pain Train, and then got a untelevised victory against War Easy. Yeah, so they went up against the runner-up for last season, hoping to become 3-0, and so Witch Doctor and such. So um, they had a I think they had a relatively stressful night after their last battle with Kraken, as coming out of
Yeah.
that battle, well, coming out of their battle with Hydra and their battle with Kraken, their weapon broke because their material was hard but brittle is what I think would be like a
Yeah.
good definition of what it
Yeah.
was. As I think they said their weapon was like too hard and such. Jeez. Yeah, I can't wait to study this because I'm in a materials course right now for my
Oh, nice.
engineering major here at college, and I'll probably be learning exactly about that kind of stuff later in this semester, and so on. It'll be exciting to compare a lot of that stuff to BattleBots, and so on. So yeah, what Witch Doctor ended up doing about that? They wanted to get a new material for their weapons that's so that way they could continue to cause damage and stuff, but not have their weapon break incredibly early in the battle here. Problem is they were getting turned down by almost everybody at the beginning, so they were frantically contacting a lot of their BattleBots community friends, and luckily enough, Blacksmith Al Kindle, he managed to contact one of his sponsors and managed to get Witch Doctor some, I believe, AR 400 steel. I don't remember I believe it's AR 400 steel. If I remember right, I might have
Yeah.
to look that up.
AR 400, I think.
Yeah, which I think is the material that Blacksmith's armor is made out of.
I think it is. Is
Yeah,
it? I'm not sure.
it's something like that, but yeah, Witch Doctor ended up getting the material and stuff. They had to borrow a truck from Sporkanock to haul a 600 pound of steel over to BattleBots because their minivan couldn't take that down there. And then luckily enough, Chomp managed to help them with the water jet process and stuff, as I believe all the stores that could do the water jet stuff for them was closed and stuff. So
Yeah.
luckily Chomp was able to help him out. So this is a big example of how awesome the BattleBots community
Oh,
and
yeah,
so on. So
definitely.
as they were all able to help the runner up out here, and we watched the runner up get an excellent victory here against Slammo.
I forgot which team captain said this, but in 2018, someone from a BattleBots team captain said, "Hey, outside of the box, we're great friends. We all get along. Inside the box, we kill each other."
Think that was either Matt Spurk or was Witch Doctor, because I know that happened right before, or that was Kraken and Witch Doctor, and
Yeah.
so on. At least as of my knowledge, and so on. So, but yeah, Witch Doctor came back. Witch Doctor got a victory in this one, their first one of the season, and then so on. And that weapon did not break. So here's a question for you: is the runner-up we saw last season? Is the runner-up back? Is the runner-up officially back, Civilian? Well, more like back, like at the strength they were at when they got second place in Balbus
Oh,
2019.
if we're talking about the power that Witch Doctor had last year, oh yeah, Witch Doctor is looking to come back from this. It's definitely showed much better weapon power. And let's not say that the Hydra fight and Kraken fight they did terrible in. They got good hits on Hydra and Kraken.
I completely agree with that. While I take out my sticker sheet from Witch Doctor, I'm showing off a lot of my swag from teams that. Yeah,
Jeez,
I have a shoebox full of swag right below here. I
you're
also have
drowning in
I have
BattleBot
my Witch
swag.
Doctor Hex Bug as well. Sadly, I don't have the newer version, but yeah, I have lots of awesome stuff from the BattleBots community. Is amazing.
Hmm.
Hang
But yeah, I'd say Witch Doctor's kind of at the power it was in 2019. I'd say.
Yeah, so Witch Doctor definitely dominated this fight as well as they did in 2019. I think they're back now. As we saw Minotaur last season drop their first two battles, then managed to dominate against Lucky, and then dominate with their upgrades against Endgame, and so on. I would count that as similar to like this outcome right here, where Witch Doctor managed to get a dominating victory and such. And I think Witch Doctor is ready to roll here and move a few steps, move steps closer towards a title, and so on.
Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, since Witch Doctor is now at 1-2, Slammo sitting at 2-1. What do you think are their top 32 odds here?
Let's do Slammo first. Slammo, in my opinion, should be a mid 20 ranked bot, high 20 ranked bot, because I don't think its wins were that impressive. Even the Pain Train fight wasn't that amazing, in my opinion. I mean, it did get a suplex on Pain Train, which was pretty good. But I mean, Pain Train also broke down in its Smee fight, so out of nowhere also. So I don't think Slammo's wins were crazily impressive. Now, please do not dislike Green Square's video for me saying this. Dislike all of my videos for saying this.
Dislike the
I
Battle.
do not.
No, dislike the Battlebot Super is canceled video. That's what you should
Yes.
dislike. If you rather than disliking this video, dislike that video. Dislike the Battlebot Super is canceled video on the Civilians Arc page, as he should not have canceled that thing, even though he kind of had no choice.
Yeah, but Witch Doctor should not be in the top 32. I said it. I said it. I do not think Witch Doctor should be in the top 32. I do not think that its losses were crazily impressive, even though they did do damage, and they still had trouble taking out Slammo in the end. I mean, Slammo got under for the most part. I mean, for the first half of the match, Slammo didn't. I mean, it took damage, but like it was like winning for the most part. So, in my opinion, I do not think Witch Doctor should be in the top 32. If it is in the top 32, I think it should get bottom 3 seed at best.
Yeah, so Slammo, I forgot to say this, but I'm not sure which bot between Kraken and Slammo took a page out of each other's book, because it looked like Slammo came in with a similar front to what Kraken had. Yeah, that front was used to scoop up Witch Doctor, and they managed to get underneath them several times. Seems like what Civilian said. So as for Slammo, I have them as in the top 32 right now. I have them like in the 20, like I would have them somewhere like in the 24 to 28 range, as while they did get two awesome suplexes in their past two battles, even though one of them was untelevised, there is evidence that they did suplex War Easy. Yeah. They weren't the most impressive and stuff. Like I think they definitely have the bot to get into the top 32 and potentially advance a few places and stuff, but there are
Yeah.
definitely still some major kinks to work out and such. Which no is yeah as when they tried to grab Witch Doctor and went right on the vertical spinner, that disabled the claws is and such on Slammo, and
Yeah.
they were at the lower position until Witch Doctor hit them right back up and such. And
Mm-hmm.
as for Witch Doctor, Mike lately and Andrea lately, if you are watching this video, I disagree with what Civilian Arc said about Witch Doctor not being in the top 32. Just know
Let
this
me
is my opinion. All opinions are respected here and so
Yes.
on.
Let me clear something up. I do not hate you, Witch Doctor. You are my third favorite bot. My favorite bot that is competing in 2020. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Sadly, I don't think you should be in the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you want to dislike this video because Civilian Art doesn't think he entered the top 32, just know that I think Witch Doctor should be in the top 32. No, yeah, if I was doing a power rankings video, Witch Doctor would be in my top 32 right now. Now, as I don't remember where I have them at as for like all the 1 and 2 contenders right now, but I know it's pretty high on the list. I know it's not the highest, but it's pretty good. And
I
so
remember you had it decently high.
yeah, because I think Witch Doctor is probably gonna be like would probably be like in the high 20s or the 30s area and so on, like 28 between 28 and 32. It'd probably be my guess if I was a selection committee and stuff. But I still have Witch Doctor in the top 32, and I think they can pull off. I think they could take out a few big
Uh,
names. As I
Don't
don't.
get
They're probably not at full strength right now. They're probably not completely at full strength, but this was a good win.
Yeah, like I want them to make the postseason. Like, of course, I want them to make the postseason, but like, I don't think that their win was that impressive to get into the postseason, in my opinion.
Yeah. All opinions are respected here. Feel free to comment
Yeah,
if you want to share your
like,
opinion.
I wouldn't go insane if Witch Doctor made the postseason. I'd be fine with it. It's just like I'd probably have Witch Doctors like 33 or 34 seed if we did
Definitely.
like if we ranked all 59 bots.
Yeah. Yep. So before we get to the next fight, awesome sticker sheet, switched actor. Because of course I gotta show off a lot of that
Right.
stuff. All right, next up, Gruff and Extinguisher. Or I think this one threw a lot of people off as for the result of this
Except
one.
for me.
Yep. It threw me off a little bit, but and so on. But I'm honestly, even though I predicted this one incorrectly, I'm very happy with the outcome of this battle. And
Oh
so,
yeah, me too.
of course, you are.
Hey, I won't deny being 6-1 when offered.
Yep. Yeah, as we got Gruff on one hand coming to this battle 1-1, where they got a win over Hypershock and then lost a driving battle against Whiplash for their second battle. Their opponent here is Extinguisher, who coming into this fight was sitting at 0-2 with losses to both Perfect Phoenix and Gigabyte. They came into this one looking a little different than what they had in their first two fights because they came in with their vertical spinner configuration. Yes, they have multiple configurations and so on. And
Mm-hmm.
I did love it when John Flack did say that their spinner made their bot look like an anime puppy. I gotta agree with that.
Do they not understand the fate of anime puppies, though?
Oh gosh, I don't want to know. Don't even tell me. I don't watch a lot of anime, so
Oh,
uh,
that's probably for the best because, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
the big thing I was disappointed about is Extinguisher mentioned. I believe Extinguisher mentioned that they came into this battle with a CO2 powered fire extinguisher and had
Yeah,
one shot with it. We sadly did not get to see it, as of my knowledge. As of what we were able, as of what we saw of this fight, we did not get to see that happen. In which, yeah, disappoints me a little, but that's okay. Hey, and
right.
all right. So thoughts on this battle?
Okay, this was a pretty decent fight overall. Like when I first saw this fight and both bots were going head to head, I'm like, oh my god, Extinguisher is much larger than Gruff. What the heck? And
Yep.
and I mean, Gruff, jeez, its grappling was amazing. I and like they were clearly stuck once, as I think someone in our group chat mentioned. I don't remember who, but it was clearly one of them was clearly stuck.
Yeah. I think they
But
suplex Extinguisher twice during that.
but yeah, kudos to the Gruff team for keeping Extinguisher in the fight for when it was like on its spinner.
Yeah. It was entertaining at one point when Extinguisher, I think they were on the screws or something like that, while locked onto Gruff. Gruff was flipped over. Gruff used that
Yeah.
opportunity to torch Extinguisher.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so much fun. But yeah, sadly, even though Extinguisher came in with that vertical spinner, they managed to land one big hit, and then I think they got flipped over right before they were about to land another, and I think after that their weapon died.
I think
Right, and their
Gruff. Don't take my word on this, but I think Gruff might have pierced the weapon belt.
that is very possible, just knowing where Gruff had a hold of Extinguisher and such, because yeah, their weapon appeared to stop spinning around, I believe, around that moment
Right.
and such. Yeah. But yeah, that was an entertaining battle to watch. Yeah, it looked like Gruff had the lead at the beginning of it until after they got stuck and the Extinguisher managed to get free from Gruff's forks. I believe it was not long after that before Gruff started having some drive issues and eventually got counted out. Oh, and so on.
Yep.
And Extinguisher walked away with the victory. And
Hmm.
any bragging words, Civilian, for picking this one correctly?
Well, me and my few of my friends had a betting game going. I am now $80 richer now because I got the Extinguisher Gruff fight right. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Also, stop doubting Extinguisher. Extinguisher is not a bad bot. If it's just has some like gremlins it needs to work out, and if
Hey,
it
I
works,
was never doubting Extinguisher. No, I get what you're saying.
it just has some kinks it needs to work out. And if it works out those kinks, it could much easily be like a top 8 bot if it works them out.
Definitely is. Yeah, this interchangeable bot between a hammer and a vertical spinner. It's an effective combination.
Because
Like
like
John's definitely made this bot a lot better this year compared to last year and such. And I hope he continues to improve Extinguisher.
Because
And
like look at
also, fun fact, according to John, I believe Gruff also posted about this. Extinguisher, John Flack's first ever fight. Hey, I
oh
want to say it was
yeah.
with Extinguisher too. Was actually up against Gruff, and I believe
Yeah,
I want to say it was Robo Games competition in 2017.
it might have
Oh,
been.
I don't know if it was Robo Games competition, but I know. But what I do know is it was a competition outside of BattleBots
I think it's
where
either
those two fought.
Robo Games or Orlando Maker Fair.
Yeah, probably one of those two and such. But yeah, John Flack's first fight was, I believe, Extinguisher's first fight was up against Groff back in 2017 and such. So
Right. Yeah.
all right, so both of these bots are currently sitting at 1 and 2 right now. What do you think about their top 32 chances as civilian?
Um, I'm sorry, John. I don't think Extinguisher is going to make the top 32. I love your bot, but I don't think they're going to be in it. In fairness, they did get a little, not a little, pretty lucky in the end of the fight. But I mean, a win's a win's a win. Gruff, I think this was their best performance, in my opinion. Their Hypershock fight, Hypershock kind of just shorted out. Whiplash dominated Gruff. This was probably Gruff's greatest performance. In my opinion, Gruff is another. Am I? In my opinion, Gruff is another 1 and 2 bot that shouldn't be in the top 32. Not maybe. I think Witch Doctor would probably should get a better seating than Gruff, in my opinion. But overall, I don't think Gruff should be in the top 32 just because its win wasn't that impressive. It didn't do great against Whiplash. It did do great against Extinguisher, but it shorted out. So that's my opinion on it, on Gruff. I'm sorry, Gruff.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, as for when I show off those power rankings, I think I have Gruff a little bit higher than Extinguisher right now. I was with them both being at 1 and 2 and so on. Like I think I
But
think Gruff would probably be in the same boat as Witch Doctor. Yeah, I could see Gruff getting in, but I see them being like in the 30s, like 30 to 32, somewhere in that range if they do end up making it in. Like Gruff definitely has the design to do well. Looks like they had drive issues or something like that, or their motors were overheating just from when and they
right,
were driving, pushing, or lifting extinguisher around and stuff. If
which is
it's possible their motors burned out at that point, or their speed controllers, or whatever it was from all that. But I think Ruff's got the design and such. I think this is a top 32 worthy bot and so on. I don't know what the second committee will think about that for when comparing Gruff to a lot of the other machines and such. As for
yes.
Extinguisher, I think their chances are smaller than Gruff as for getting in right now. I am betting the answer is no, but I don't want to count them out right now as we still have another episode, another 7 more regular season battles. Well, I believe it's 7, but
And yeah, 7. They might pull a curveball and give us 8, just like they gave
yeah,
us in episode 1.
yeah. But I'm betting Extinguisher's odds are probably not looking great, even though they did get this win, because this win definitely improved their odds. And if they were to lose this battle, because even though they did get this win, they weren't on top of it for most of this battle, and so on and including their vertical spinner died not long into this battle.
True.
But the happy thing though is that we're gonna get to see the vertical spinner again, and in the bounties, I believe,
Do you know
even
who they're
so on.
fighting in the bounties?
Valkyrie. Yeah, they sh-
Oh,
they showed in the
oh,
preview that Extinguisher takes on Valkyrie in the bounties. It won't be this upcoming bounty, but it'll be in the last two. And Extinguisher had their vertical spinner configuration, so it makes me happy that they're bringing back the vertical spinner. As I
that would be
think this is
fun.
the more effective weapon between their hammer and stuff.
Yeah, even though I think with the hammer configuration they're a bit faster, because like in the Perfect Phoenix fight, they were doing like a 1 second box rush. I'm like, what the heck?
Yep. But yeah, I can't wait to see Extinguisher again. Can't wait to see that vert again. See how well John Flack takes out the repairs the kinks and stuff in that design and such. So
Yeah. John, look at the bright side. Tombstone has not been able to knock out Gruff, and you were.
true that. So yeah, sadly I don't have any merch from either of these two bots and such. I hope I'll be able to get some in the future and stuff. But yeah, impressive win out of Extinguisher and impressive showing out of Gruff as well. This is a good fight in my opinion. Next up, Perfect Phoenix and Adam 94. Both of these bots kind of have Ray Billings kind of as a mentor, as Perfect Phoenix is run by Tyler, who is mentored by Tombstone since his mother is dating Ray Billings. And then
Awkward.
Am94, a team from India, they contacted Ray Billings before, and he was able to kind of like mentor them into the combat robotics and stuff like that. I believe that's kind of like
Yeah.
decent summary of that. But and so now these two are clashing in the arena here, and we saw multiple big hits from at the beginning of this battle, including we saw Perfect Phoenix go flying multiple
Yeah.
times, and so
Yeah.
on. So, thoughts on this one?
Honestly, I'm very shocked by Adam's performance. This was overall a pretty great performance, especially when it had its weapon on. It did really great with its weapon. I mean, it didn't do much in the big deal fight. It seemed to be doing better in the tantrum fight, but this is by far their best performance in the. And they also fought Mad Catter, I believe. I forgot.
Yeah, bounties.
Yeah, they did decent in the that fight, but didn't do amazing. This is without a doubt their best fight.
All right.
And the Perfect Phoenix also did really great. It's nice to see that they're having different blade configurations, just like Tombstone, for taking out different bots. So they're a lot more adaptive. I think a lot of horizontal spinners should be much more adaptive, because a lot of people are saying Tombstone like needs a redesign and stuff like that. I don't think so. I just think they need to be a bit more adaptive, like Bloodsport or Perfect Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, it was awesome getting to see a blue spinner going on Perfect Phoenix to fight Am94, where a lot of their color is blue on that bot, and so on. And yeah, this
Yeah,
was a very fun fight to watch. Best performance out of each of these bots so far this season, and counting the bounty battles too, who that happened
yeah,
later and such. So yeah, Am94 sadly after two hits, it was like one of their weapon chains got busted, and their one of the teeth on their spinner got busted as well, which I believe disabled the weapon and such. And then it wasn't long before Perfect Phoenix's weapon system looked like it started to overheat, possibly from some of those big impacts at the beginning of this match and such. As we saw Perfect Phoenix go flying twice, including one of them just shocked Kenny and Chris that Perfect Phoenix landed
yeah,
right side up and such. And yeah, so from there, after Perfect Phoenix's weapon overheated, we saw a push battle, which I'd say 2/3 of that was controlled by Perfect Phoenix, 1/3 of that controlled by Adam 94. I don't know if you would agree, civilian, or not.
mm, yeah. I'd agree with that. That's spot on.
Yeah, it's relatively close. Oh, it's because I
Yeah,
know both bots had some moments during that push battle. But then, right as the clock hit zero, we saw more smoke coming out of Perfect Phoenix, meaning probably their speed controllers and or maybe motors as well. Like some of their internals were overheating as well, like in their drive system and so on. And that's not
yeah.
always the best look to have to go to the judges.
Hmm.
So, what do you think about the judges' decision?
I actually divide when me and my brother decided to do something like this, where we divided the fight into thirds. One with both their weapons on, one with Perfect Phoenix's weapon on, but Adam's weapon is not on, and the other is the pushing battle. We came to the conclusion Adam was better when both weapons were on. Perfect Phoenix was better when just its weapon was on, and Perfect Phoenix was better when it was a pushing battle. So I agree with the decision.
Yeah, probably as for me, I agreed with the decision as well, but I had this as the closest fight. Well, yeah, I believe this I had this one as the closest fight of the three judges' decisions in this one. Yeah, as
Yeah.
for the damage category, I gave an edge to Adam 94, even though Perfect Phoenix did get more hits in with their spinner compared to Adam 94's spinner. Those first
Yeah.
two weapon on weapon exchanges, the Adam 94 clearly won there, and the smoke coming out of Perfect Phoenix, both on their weapon system was overheating and their drive system was overheating, and would give me it would help me lean slightly towards Am 94s, but as I would give them 3 out of 5 damage points for
Yeah.
that category. And as for aggression and control, I would probably give 2-1 in favor of Perfect Phoenix for both of those, as I think Perfect Phoenix showed other than like the very beginning of this battle, I think Perfect Phoenix showed showed more aggression and control. Of course, though, we did see a lot of that out of both bots in this battle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I scored this battle in favor of Perfect Phoenix, but not by a lot. And
Yeah,
so on.
this was definitely a closer fight than a lot of people think.
Yeah, closer one than a lot of people would imagine, and so on. I agree with that, civilian. So, what do you think these two standings are for the top 32? As we got Perfect Phoenix currently sitting at 2-1. I think I am 93 0-3, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, so out of all the 0 and 3 bots, I think Adam 94 is the best out of the 0 and 3 bots. I don't think it's going to make it, but I mean, I think it's the best 0 and 3 bot we that is in the season. Perfect Phoenix, I think it's going to get like a 13 to 18 seed because its fights were generally destructive. It had some problems with its Scorpio fight. It didn't do great against its Extinguisher fight because Extinguisher just kind of like a speed controller got broken or something. I forgot.
Yeah,
But
short
like,
circuited, but yeah, you get the idea.
yeah. But Perfect Phoenix did do a lot of damage to Adam. So I think Perfect Phoenix is one of the like lower ranked 2 and 1 bots in my opinion, but I still think it should be get like one of the middle seeds.
Definitely. As Yeah, I'm 94. I think they're out, but big credit to them as they came to Battlebots with a fantastic design. They managed to learn a lot from their experience. They got better with every single fight they had here, along with the fact that they came here all the way from India to come compete at Battlebots.
Oh
Even
yeah.
even though they're winless, they probably would have done a lot better than what I would have done if I came to Battlebots with a robots here and so
Right.
on. Like yeah, big credit to Ab 94. They might not have won any of their regular season battles, but it was exciting watching them there and just knowing how well they would have done compared to knowing how well they did comparing to if I would have come to BattleBots and so on. Got to make that comparison and so on. Like
Hmm.
they had a good season in my opinion. And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they'll make the top 32 but and then Perfect Phoenix I think they're in. I would probably have them over in the high teens area, probably like 16 to 19, somewhere in that range. I think that's
Yeah.
around the range that Civilian was mentioning,
Yeah.
and so on. As they got an impressive win here, even though they had some internal issues in this battle. They had a reasonably dominant victory for Extinguisher, even though Extinguisher, in my opinion, beat itself in that one and managed to get dished out some big shots and against Scorpios and so on.
Uh,
Think Perfect Phoenix has the design to do well, advance a few places in the top 32. I can't wait to see what
I,
Tyler does, as I think the 13-year-old is gonna go. I think the 13-year-old is gonna do pretty well in the top 32 and so on.
oh yeah.
All right. Next up, main event. The other fight that I unfortunately predicted incorrectly, but well, I shouldn't really say unfortunately because it was still an exciting battle to watch.
An amazing battle.
Yes. Now, as Copperhead, after their battle with P1, well, in their interview, they called out Black Dragon, mentioning that they have fought in several smaller events, and they've been reasonably close, but he won it. It just he but his domination and won each of those meetings and such, which I
Yeah.
haven't seen any videos of that stuff, but
I've seen like
uh,
a Robo Games fight, but that's about it.
sounds sounds reasonable to me, and so on. So yeah, coming into this battle, Black Dragon came in with their strongest weapon and their strongest egg beater and so on and went run after Copperhead right from the beginning and so on. And so thoughts on this battle while I pull something out of my box.
First up, I want to show my Copperhead sticker that I have on my Xbox 360. Right here, I got a Copperhead sticker and a Robert Cowan sticker on my Xbox. That's pretty much the only stickers from any team I ever had. I actually no, I think I have some from Malice somewhere, but that's about it. But
Yeah, I probably won't dig out my sticker since I have the Copperhead sticker. That's what I would have pulled out. But yeah, thanks for sending me that Copperhead. And I'm sure
yeah,
civilians would say the same thing.
Zach Goff, amazing driving from him. Like he has improved so much from its 2019 run. I mean, like I would not have guessed that they would have gotten 3-0 here. Like no way.
Yeah,
Like that just this was no discredit to Black Dragon at all. Oh my gosh, they were still really good in this fight. They were always going after Copperhead the entire fight, and just a great match from both like really experienced teams.
definitely. Yeah, we saw Copperhead have a difficult start at the beginning as they weren't able to really get out of the red square, or whichever square they were in. I don't remember which bot was in
I think they
which,
were
but
red. No, yeah, they were red.
yeah. It's not what's on the image there is I know Black Dragon rushed right out of their square, managed to get a few good hits on Copperhead, and then Copperhead managed to get those forks and that spinner underneath Black Dragon, bent the wedge, eventually got to their weapon belt, which disabled Black Dragon's weapon. And
Mhm.
Black Dragon, like what civilians said, they just kept coming right after Copperhead, despite having their wedge completely bent and their weapon not spinning and stuff. And they just stayed aggressive and so on, and just did
Yeah,
not let Copperhead go and such.
definitely.
Yeah. But then, of course, though, big concern though would be at the end of that battle. Copperhead seemed to be having some serious drive problems. Eventually, lost their weapon themselves, showing that they potentially took some major damage during that battle. And Black Dragon seemed to be in control at the end of that battle. Well, and
Yes, even went upside down also, which I found kind
yeah,
of surprising.
yeah, Black Dragon was upside down, and they were getting some excellent pushes on Copperhead. And even though Black Dragon's weapon didn't seem down, they seemed to be like at full strength as for push power and so on. Like that just proves the durability and reliability of Black Dragon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so I'm assuming we both agree. Well, should we just share what we thought of the judge's decision?
I mean, I pretty much agree with it. I mean, I'd probably give Black Dragon aggression, but that's about it.
Yeah, I actually would have had this fight actually quite close. Close. I think I think if I think about it, even closer than Perfect Phoenix and Ab 94. As damage, I would have scored that 4-1 in favor of Copperhead here. As they clearly did more damage here, even though, but I will give Black Dragon credit for what they were able to do at the beginning of this battle and the damage Copperhead took at the end of the battle. But yeah, I'm still gonna give 4 points to Copperhead for that, and so on. And then as for aggression control, I'm actually giving 2 points of each of those to Black Dragon for what they were able to do in this battle. Yeah, what they were able to do at the beginning, and even when their weapon was not working, and especially when Copperhead was having issues of their own, Black Dragon just continued to push on and stuff. Just yeah, despite not having a primary weapon, fantastic showing from them.
Yeah, my scorecard would probably be 5-0 damage from Copperhead, 2-1 control from Black Dragon, and 2-1 control and 2-1 aggression from Black Dragon. So yeah, I think they also got control also in my opinion, but Black Copperhead just dished everything out to Black Dragon.
Yeah. Yep, damage is worth the most points, and like we each agreed that that Copperhead dominated that area and so on.
Yep.
So what do you think about these two as for their top 32 chances and so on? Copperhead's 3-0, Black Dragon is 2-1.
I mean, I'll start with Black Dragon first because it's 2-1. I think Black Dragon should be in top 8 seed in my opinion. It still had two incredible fights, a really close fight with Kraken, a dominant performance against Claw Viper, and it still did well against the Copperhead fight in my opinion. So I still think Black Dragon should be one of the top seeds in my opinion. Now, as for Copperhead, currently, not overall currently, I have currently Copperhead seated as the number 2. I do believe that will change after the Hydra uppercut fight, in my opinion. But as of now, I feel that Copperhead should be the 2 seed. Because,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it destroyed Gigabyte. It made P1 consider switching to Geico because 15 minutes can save you 15% or more in car insurance. And P1's definitely going to need some car insurance.
Oh my gosh, that's good. Oh man.
And yeah, just dished it to Black Dragon. So I'd say they're gonna be 2 seed. They're 2 seed right now, but they're probably gonna end 3 seed.
Yeah. So as for Black Dragon right now, yeah. Well, I'll first say I think both bots are in for the top 32. They both
Oh
have a
yeah,
good record. They both have a series of impressive fights. Black Dragon,
yeah.
I'll start it off to go along with Civilian's Order, and so on. I think Black Dragon, I would have them somewhere between the 8 and the 13 seed. Now, even though they had a controversial judge decision victory against Kraken, it was an impressive victory. Like,
It was a very
yes,
impressive bout
yes.
from Black Dragon.
And then they had another very impressive victory over Claw Viper that was a knockout. And then they had this one where they showed a lot that they can do, even without a primary weapon and so on. So as for Copperhead, I would have them somewhere between the 4 and the 6 or 7 seed. As while they have had some impressive stuff out of that spinner, like decapitating Gigabyte, destroying the front of P1, and then what they were able to do in this battle, there have definitely been some major concerns as for their driving ability and so on late in the
True.
battles, which will be something to watch and so on. It's why I would have them as a not as high as what Civilian has, but
Like,
I still have Copperhead as a top 10 seed, and I think they deserve it.
yeah, they definitely did much better in their 2019 season. Massive improvement from Copperhead.
Yeah, even from Poison Arrow back in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach had an amazing run with Poison Arrow back in 2016. He returned with Copperhead last season and had a pretty good first season and came back. He came back for this season and he's 3-0. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Just
all right. So yeah, anything else about this fight or about this fight card?
I just I am so hyped for postseason now. I cannot wait to see the seedings they have and
More
how
importantly,
much
I can't
people are.
wait for the next episode too. There's one regular season episode left, and then the postseason starts and so
Yep.
on. So yeah, before we close it for this video, Battlebots didn't show it off in this one. I thought I would, because why not? And as well, I think Battlebots is hinting that they're going to reveal the top 32 at the end of the next episode. I don't know for
That
sure, as they haven't really confirmed that, but
I
some
just
of the stuff being said, it's kind of hinting towards it, but yeah, you never know.
yeah.
So what I have here, I have the current standings for everybody right now. So yeah, we got 4 3-0s right now. Bloodsport, Copperhead, Jackpot, and Mad Catter. Also, by the way, this is probably not all perfect. I guarantee I made an error somewhere as I was making this last minute before making this video and such. And then 2-0s, we got Beta, Hydra, Uppercut, and Valkyrie. 3 of them are confirmed to be fighting in the next episode. Also, by the way, hey, if you don't want to hear what fights are in the next episode that we already know of, I would recommend stopping this video right now or skip till later when I share my power rankings for the current 1 and 2 machines.
Mm.
And so, yeah, Beta, Hydra, Uppercut, and Valkyrie are in it. We know at least 3 of them are fighting. We know that at least one of those 3, but 2 of those 3 will be 3-0 by the end of the next episode. As we know, Hydra and Uppercut will be fighting in the next episode, probably in the main event, if I took a good guess.
I wouldn't. That has to be main event. I don't see how that's not main event.
Yeah. So it's also confirmed that Valkyrie has Whiplash for an opponent. And so we got several 2-in-1 bots: Black Dragon, Fusion, Gigabyte, Hijinks, Lockjaw, Malice, Mammoth, Perfect Phoenix, Ribot, Shatter, Scorpius, Slammo, and Sub-Zero. Giant list of 2-in-1 machines here.
Gigantic.
Yeah. I think they're all in, and I think they'll all make the top 32 and
I agree.
such. And
Yep.
yeah, some of them had less impressive wins over others. Others had more impressive stuff than others, but yeah, we definitely see some major stuff. I could definitely see many of these bots going for a major run for a title.
Oh yeah.
And then we got the 1-in-1 machines. We got Deadlift, who I'm hoping we will get to see in the next episode. We saw them in a bounty episode, and they'll be in another bounty episode as a video for the next 2 bounties will be coming out sometime soon. As we got Endgame as well, Hypershock, which by the way, those 2 will meet in the next episode. That's confirmed as well, as we have seen images of it. P1, Pain Train, Rusty, and Sawblaze, they're also meeting as well. That's one thing I'm wondering. Why did they give Rusty Sawblaze?
The better question is, why did they give Sawblaze Rusty?
Another good question is, why did they give Beta Rusty?
Who knows?
Man. Yeah. And then there's also Slapbox, Smee, Tantrum, and Whiplash, which we already know Whiplash takes on Valkyrie. I could definitely see. I bet Tantrum will be in the next episode as well. I don't know for sure, but I want to make a prediction that they're going to take on Beta in the next episode. Tantrum said in their interview after their AM94 win that they want to take on another big opponent. One of the biggest opponents left, who hasn't had all 3 of their battles here. Well, one of the major contenders as for like their current record right now, who hasn't had all 3 of their fights, and that isn't confirmed yet. The only one left is Beta, in my opinion, here. Of course, I'll be happy with whatever Tantrum gets, as they'll put up a good show no matter who they get.
Yeah.
And so then 1 and 2 bots here, which I'm going to rank them, which will be in the next slide. We got Big Dill, Captain Shredder, Chomp, Claw Viper, Extinguisher, Ghost Raptor, Gruff, Huge, Kraken, Rotator, Tombstone, Tracer, War Easy, and Witch Doctor.
A ton.
Yeah, lots of 1 and 2 bots. I guarantee if you count up all the 3-0, the 2-0, the 2-in-1 bots, and even if you add the 1-in-1s to it, I'm pretty sure that does not make 32 bots and so on. I don't know for sure. I haven't counted it. And so on. You can do the counting for me, Civilian, if you want. But
all right.
But yeah, I'm betting at least a few of those 1 and 2 bots are getting in. I hope a lot of them get in. As many of them I think could make a major run for a title and are very impressive designs.
23.
So yeah. 23 bots in the 3-0, 2-0, 2-in-1, and 1-in-1 spot. So there are 9 spots. There could be not up to around 9 spots or more for the 1 and 2 bots here. So several of these bots are very much still in it.
Yeah.
And then finally, we got the winless category where we have Aegis or Aegis. I don't know. I've heard it. I know they've pronounced it Aegis on the show. I've pronounced it as Aegis and stuff. I don't know which one it is. You could tell me.
My brother.
Plan X Robotics. Alexa. Yeah, and then there's AM94, Axe Backwards, Axolotl, Bale Spear, Kronos, Gamma 9, Gemini, Grabot, Sharko, and Sporkanok, who are all currently winless right now, 0-1, 0-2, or 0-3. I really hope some of them manage to make a comeback from that. I'll bet we'll be seeing some of them in the next episode, and so on.
Yeah. I want to see Gamma 9 again. It did pretty good in it.
I want to see Gamma 9 again. I want to see Axe Backwards again, honestly. I want to see I want to see Gemini. I want to see Sharko as well. And pretty much a lot of the bots on this list. I want to see Aegis back again.
I'm sure Pori would love to see Bale Spear again.
Yeah, sadly though, Balesphere did confirm in a Facebook group post that they only had 2 fights in the regular season, which they've already had
True.
two. They had a loss of Deadlift and Tracer.
True.
Yeah, I would love to see Balesphere back again and then such. But yeah, I bet we'll be seeing some of them in the next episode, and we could definitely see some of these bots are 0-1, but they could have always gotten an untelevised victory and then fight in this next episode and potentially get another win and be at 2-1 and get into the top 32, which we could definitely
Right.
see happen.
Like if Gamma 9 is 1-2, and if it has like an impressive loss and it has a fight going into episode 10, I'd have it in the postseason because it did pretty well against Chomp, in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely did well against Chomp. As Gamma 9's definitely a lot better bot than it was back in 2018 when we first saw it.
Yeah.
All right, finally we have the last category, which is Black Widow and Rampage, where this is not counting exhibition or bounty battles, because both of these bots have or will be making an appearance soon. As we haven't seen Black Widow and Rampage in the regular season, we haven't even heard if they've had any untelevised fights yet. No, it's Black Widow. They had an exhibition battle against Mammoth, which you can check that out on YouTube and stuff. And then Rampage, they'll be in the upcoming bounties and stuff. They're in the bracket for that. I think they're taking on Fusion, but we'll cover that in the
Yeah,
next
I
video.
think Fusion. I think
Yeah.
Fusion.
But yeah, these two bots, they each have appearances coming. I don't know if it'll be in the regular I don't know if we'll see them in the next episode or not. I sure hope we do, because I would love to see both of these designs in action. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, Black Widow also was in a bounty too, where they took
Yeah,
on
they fought Scorpios.
yep, where they were in the Ice Wave bounty and stuff. But yeah, you get the idea. So now the contenders sitting at 1 and 2. So I ranked these bots based off of their performance and both their wins and their losses right now. And I ranked them based off of how impressive they were, in my opinion, and how likely would I accept them into the top 32, knowing Battlebots is likely going to throw some of these bots in the top 32. No, it's at the top. I got Rotator. Rotator had a reasonably difficult schedule. Well, with Beta at first, where they had a controversial judges' decision loss after Beta didn't fire their primary weapon even once. They had a very impressive go at Valkyrie. That was one of the best fights of the season,
Oh yeah.
and Battlebot's history potentially too. Even though they lost that battle, that was a great showing from Rotator.
Yeah.
And yeah, they managed to come out of their third fight with a win over Big Dill.
Mm-hmm.
So then at number 2, I have Kraken. And Kraken, in my opinion, out of all the bots who has had 3 fights so far, Kraken has had the hardest schedule of them, where they took
Oh
on
yeah.
3 bots who were in the top 16 last season, and which 2 of them are on this list right here. Huge, Witch Doctor, and Black Dragon. That's a tough schedule for Kraken. And despite them being like a crusher bot, then lots of people like to complain that crusher bots aren't the most entertaining. Like Kraken had 3 entertaining fights there.
Yeah, all its fights were unique in its like own little way. Like Kraken put a good fight against Black Dragon. Kraken put a good fight against Witch Doctor. I'd say Huge was probably its weakest performance, but still a pretty good performance.
Yeah, it was awesome watching them get a bite, actually getting a bite on Huge and
Yeah,
nearly frying their internals. Because
that was
yeah, it sounds
great.
like the flame actually almost torched the internals and so on. And so yeah, speaking of Huge, I have them as the 3rd highest here. It was Huge. It was overall it was disappointing, but overall relatively decent fight against Mammoth. Hydra and Huge, I'm not even going to speak of that one.
We don't
And then
speak of that.
yep, I'm not going to speak of that one. And then they fought Kraken, where that was an awesome victory out of Huge. Fun
Yeah.
to watch. And then at number 4, I have the runner-up, and I know Civilian very much going to disagree with this when I ask him what his opinion is on this ranking thing, but I think Witch Doctor should get into the top 32. Who, like, I have them at a good place to get in there. And they managed to dish out lots of big hits, get some big damage points on both Kraken and Hydra, and then I got a pretty impressive victory over Slammo. Managed to recover from all that and stuff, and it's been a wild season so far for Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
Number 5, Tombstone. I would have had them higher if their one win wasn't against like a rookie team, like a rookie contender in Slapbox and stuff. Like,
I I think that was part of the point though, for them to get like an easy win because it's
yeah.
Tombstone.
Yeah, like Tombstone's still like a dominant machine. Like it does not need a redesign like what people are saying and stuff. And it's still Tombstone. It's still a ferocious machine. You know,
Yeah.
I would still put them in the top 32. I bet Battlebots is going to put them into the top 32. I don't want to assume anything because I knocked twice just because I don't want to jinx anything for them and for the audience who really wants to see Tombstone in the top 32. And because yeah, I think Tombstone still got the design. I think they can make the top 32 and such. Like they managed to dish out a ton of heavy hits, managed to puncture both wheels on Scorpios and stuff. And
Yeah.
sadly the biddings for both of those wheels on eBay is too much for me. So I won't be taking home a second tire. Might as well just grab my Valkyrie wheel. I guess my Valkyrie wheel won't get a friend, unfortunately. But whatever. Or anyway, I am a college student anyway, so. At 6, I have Gruff up and so on. Like Gruff overall has had a pretty decent season, and now as even though they are at 1 and 2 right now, they got a decent victory over Hypershock, even though Hypershock short or had loose drive belts caused it to kind of beat itself. But uh, like the Extinguisher fight was still fun to watch and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I think Gruff's still like a major contender to watch despite it having 2 losses right now. Next up, Captain Shredderator at 7 and stuff, which yeah, right at the middle, almost right at the middle and such,
Yeah.
and yeah, Captain Shredderator. I think they would have won their first fight against Lockjaw if not for that pin, knowing the issues Lockjaw was having in that battle, well, and so on. Like, I would not call that one a bad loss. I would not call the loss against Shatter a bad loss either, knowing they managed to dish out a ton of major shots with that full body spinner
Oh
or
yeah.
before having weapon problems again. And then number 8, the bot that I probably overranked and Extinguisher. I would like overall they had a pretty good third fight in that battle against Gruff. They managed to take out a major tank, like what Civilian Arc said that Tombstone wasn't able to do last season, and so on. Like even though they are sitting at 1 and 2 right now, like that was a pretty good win for them.
Yeah.
And then Claw Viper up next, and Claw Viper probably if they would have lasted like a little longer, didn't have like drive issues after after a few big shots. It's like didn't have some of the common internal issues they were having. I probably would have ranked them higher, as that thing is still like it proved to have major durability like in their hijinks fight, but then it didn't really prove that very much in their Black Dragon or Gigabyte fight, sadly. But Claw
True.
Viper is still another one to not to underestimate here, as I could also see Claw Viper in the top 32. Then next up, we got Chomp, the 500-pound walking machine. And like there's definitely been some concerns about that bot, at least at least after hearing about their Ghost Raptor battle, their untelevised battle, and then as well the Hijinks battle, where Hijinks proved how even with the armor that Chomp has, how vulnerable those legs are. But Chomp is still a major machine. That's 500-pound tank. Is that thing put holes in Gamma 9 when those two fought. Chomp is still one to watch, and they nearly pulled off a bite force in their battle with Hijinks, and could definitely see that again if they make it into the top 32. Then I have the bottom 4, who I'm probably the least confident they're going to make the top 32. No offense to any of those teams, as you never know what could happen. This is all my opinion as well. I guarantee many of you would probably have different rankings for this. I have Big Dill at 11. Big Dill, I wasn't the most impressed with their victory against Ab 94, is M94 wasn't exactly the most functional, but they proved that bot has a major reach advantage compared to a lot
Yeah,
of other bots. The forks are very low to the ground. They're reasonably effective, at least whenever they're not having issues that kept their forks at the same position. That kept their forks at the low position, which is a problem they had in their fight with both Lockjaw and Rotator, I believe. Yeah, and then following that, Ghost Raptor, like they had a solid shot at Shatter for their first battle, even though their weapon died very early, as they were able to get a lot of good action in with that lifter, and so on. And they have that untelevised victory against Chomp. I don't know what to think about that, whether that's Ghost Raptor winning that battle dominantly or Chomp beating itself. I don't know for sure, as I haven't seen any evidence of that exactly.
right.
But yeah, I don't know if Ghost Raptor is going to make the top 32. I kind of have doubts about that, but you never know what could happen. As I could easily change my mind if I see the untelevised battle with Chomp and learn that that was awesome and dominated in favor of Ghost Raptor. And then finally, I'll just combine Tracer and War Easy. Like Tracer had an impressive victory, had a decent victory against Bale Spear. I'm guessing War Easy had an untelevised fight against Axolotl and stuff, but knowing their other two losses, I'm just not sure exactly what to say about either of them, as they each lost their other two battles by getting flipped over. Of course, though, War Easy has the exception of getting destroyed by Fusion and there and such, but
Right.
both of those bots, I think if they came back next season, I bet they would do reasonably well. They would definitely do a lot better than I would do if I attended Battlebots and stuff, competed in it, and they got a victory and stuff that were both decent victories.
Yeah.
So yeah, that took a while to explain it. So, what are your opinions on this civilian, and then what changes would you make? And
Uh,
also, if you're viewing this, feel free to reply exactly your comments and stuff, as all opinions are respected here.
yep. I pretty much agree with your bottom four. I might have Ghost Raptor higher than Big Deal, but that's about it. 10, I'd have Extinguisher. 9, I'd keep Claw Viper. 8, Chomp. 7 Witch Doctor. 6, Gruff. 5, Shredderator. 4 Tombstone. No, yeah, 4 Tombstone, 3 Huge, 2 Kraken, 1 Rotator. So overall, I agree with your rankings. Besides the whole Witch Doctor fiasco I have going on.
Yeah, pretty much. It's almost a pretty much swap Witch Doctor and Captain Shredderator, even though they're not at those two places in your rankings, but they're pretty close to it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, sounds like we got some agreement and this and stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, feel free to share your opinions on this. As yeah, it's clear that there will be some 1 and 2 machines making it to the top 32, at least as from the previous slide and such. So, and it's always
Yeah.
fun to check out whom we think those will be, try to predict it, and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else from you, Civilian, before we close this video and such?
Please do not send me hate comments about my opinion on Witch Doctor.
If you do send hate comments, do it on his videos, not here.
Yes. You can send me hate on my channel, not on Green's channel.
Oh man. Oh, we have so much fun here.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for watching this video. This is definitely a long video and such, but I hope you enjoyed it. It is as fun as we have when discussing these fights and these sort of things. And thanks
Mhm.
for co-hosting again, Civilian Arc. Be sure to subscribe to his channel and such. And I will hopefully see you in the next video.